You can't tell me that hearing everyone just coughing and sneezing in your place of work is not the most irritating thing ever. I don't know what that means about me, but like, oh, it's putting me into overdrive. Like, I just want to like, and like go running around the office. Shut up.
Hello everyone, this is Emmanuel Cook. We will be reacting to a new video today, so make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe down below, and let's get into the video.
I know you've been there. I know you've experienced this. I know you've had this happen. How do you handle microaggressions in the workplace professionally? You know, those subtle comments that you're not sure is a comment or a subtle dig, like when someone says, wow, you're so articulate. And you're like, did they just say that out loud? Okay. So when someone drops a backhanded compliment at work, it's tempting to let it slide. But here are some ways you can respond calmly and make it clear that you noticed. So if you're not very confrontational, you might want to try the lighthearted redirect. So when you hear, you're so articulate, you could respond with a little humor. Well, thank you. Clear communication is kind of a job requirement. You can make it light. You're keeping it light, but you make the point that being articulate is expected, so it shouldn't be surprising. Or you could say, thank you. I worked hard on that since kindergarten. It's lighthearted, but it makes it clear that you don't need to be reminded that you're articulate. It's expected. You can address it directly, but gently. You could try something like, I'm sure you meant that as a compliment, but I feel it reinforces an old stereotype. And compliments or comments like that don't sit right with me. You're keeping it professional, respectful, but firm. You're setting boundaries without creating tension, and you're letting them know that you noticed and you weren't thrilled. You can refocus on team standards. So if you want to go the extra mile and make it a teaching moment, you can say something like, our workplace prioritizes respect and inclusivity, so let's keep that reflected in our actions. This approach keeps it focused on professional values and standards, which makes it clear that respectful communication is non-negotiable. Microaggressions can be really tough to navigate, but handling them professionally, because you are at work, sends a clear message that everyone deserves to be valued. So remember, you have the power to set the tone and set clear boundaries while maintaining respect. What's your go-to response when you're faced with microaggression at work? Drop your tips in the comments.
You know, I try not to put race into things, and especially in my life experiences or interactions that I'm having with people, I try to look at it from a, I guess, perspective of maybe someone is just not having the best day, so this is why they're acting the way that they're acting or doing whatever it is that they're doing. So I just went to go pick up lunch, and I placed my order online, of course paid online, placed an order online to a local Atlanta restaurant. I'm not going to say the restaurant's name, but I go inside to pick up my order from takeout. There's a young lady at the register. I gave her my name, like, hey, I'm here to pick up an order for Kiana. And I could see my food clearly sitting on the counter. I ordered one thing. I could see it sitting on the counter, literally next to her hand. My order is there. So she's like, oh, this is your order here. And there's a receipt with the food that I ordered sitting on the counter. She then proceeds to look at the receipt in detail. I guess she was looking for my name, Kiana, because initially she called me Brianna, and I was like, nope, it's Kiana. She grabs the food, proceeds to pack the food in the bag, and she then says, have you paid? So I took a deep breath and I said, well, usually when you place a food order online, you do pay, correct? Isn't that, what your restaurant requires? Online order payment is remitted at that time. Oh, I normally don't work up here, so I don't know. Ma'am, you know that's a microaggression, right? It's a microaggression. You literally already looked at the receipt, so you're fully aware that I've already paid for my food because you dissected the receipt before you even handed me my food. For you to ask me, have I paid for the food? Of course I paid for my online order. Like, really? Like, come on now, y'all really need to do better. These microaggressions are not becoming, and when we start to react in ways that you don't think are favorable for you, you're going to have a problem with it. Like, I just felt the whole question was unnecessary, especially when you're working in the service industry. You know damn well if someone places an order online and they come in to pick it up from takeout, they literally have a takeout section. The question of have you paid for the order is not, it's not a question. I would have given her grace if she would have asked for me to verify who I am. can you show identification, or can you show your order confirmation on your email account that's required when you're placing an online order? But to simply just ask me, have I paid? Ma'am. But no, tell me if you guys have experienced these type of microaggressions while you're dining, or, you know, picking up a to-go order, or just in general. And how do you guys normally handle it?
Has somebody ever hit you with a passive-aggressive remark or microaggression, whether in the workplace, in a friend group, or just out in public, and you couldn't call it out without looking crazy? Let's fix that. Because these remarks are not harmless. They're animosity in disguise. You shut that down immediately, confidently, powerfully, and intensely. You let them know, I clock the time you're on, and I don't do passive-aggressive. I speak aggressive-aggressive. So if there's any animosity towards me, make it unmistakable. People like that don't hold back out of kindness. They hold back and use ambiguity because they're cowards. And they know if they came at you directly, they'd get leveled. And if this is happening in the workplace and you're afraid of calling it out because it might look unprofessional, there's nothing unprofessional about standing up for yourself. If you get pulled aside, you explain, I wasn't being confrontational, I was being clear, and I protect my boundaries. And if this is happening in a friend group or a social setting, and you're afraid of calling it out in fear of looking crazy or burning bridges, there is no bridge. There is no bridge. People with animosity towards you will chip away at you until you shut it down. Period. You have nothing to lose because nothing is worth your dignity and your emotional safety. I don't think there's anything wrong with letting people be a little afraid of you. Just a healthy amount. Because healthy fear does what niceness can't. It makes people think twice.
Are microaggressions in the workplace really a big deal? Like, are we clutching our pearls over nothing? Let me tell you a story from the very early days of my career. So, baby me, fresh out of the womb, junior, got the opportunity to work as a producer for a show. Amazing. Big step in my career journey. For context, my job was writing those entertainment scripts for radio hosts to read out on air. Then, a plot twist. It's the last show and the hosts ask me, your wee little junior, to read out the scripts on air. Now, this felt huge at the time. Cue adrenaline, internal screaming, etc. So there I was, got my presenter voice on, I'm very excited, and what do they play as my intro music? Punjabi MC. And you know the song, everyone knows the song. The hosts asks me if Punjabi MC is my dad. First of all, bad joke, not funny. But here's the truly cooked part. At the time, I was stoked. I felt seen. I felt represented. I was like, wow, they actually acknowledged me and my brownness. It wasn't until years later that I looked back and thought, hang on, that wasn't peak inclusivity. That was actually kind of messed up. That moment, while maybe innocent, othered me in a moment that was supposed to be celebratory. It says that my identity was the first and most obvious thing about me, overshadowing my actual achievement, my skills, and the job I was there to do, which was the very important job of writing pop culture news. This is what microaggressions do. Microaggressions chip away at your sense of belonging, at your self-confidence, and your feeling of being truly seen for your skills and contributions, not just your background. It's probably one of the reasons why we all have imposter syndrome. But the good news is recognizing these moments, even years later, means growth. It means you're understanding the subtle ways that bias can play out in the workplace. You're not alone, and remember, your worth isn't defined by someone else's lazy assumptions.
I'm going to give you the reason why those targeted microaggressions hit you so hard at work. Recently, I had a conversation with my therapist about the microaggressions that I have experienced in corporate America and how exhausting it is to constantly defend myself. I've left countless jobs because of the racism and microaggressions I experienced in my role, and then I end up getting a new role and I experience the same thing, so the cycle never stops. So my therapist told me this: the reason why those microaggressions hold so much weight is because you have not found what makes you happy. When you find things that feed you, the microaggressions don't feed you. When you let them drag you down into the weeds, it's no longer your journey. It becomes their journey, and now they have power over you and they can take ownership of you. So then you start reacting and not responding to the situation. You have to compartmentalize who's the person you want to be and the person they want you to be. Do you want to feed into their negative stereotypes? Because when you do, then you are writing their story. You're not writing your own. Your journey has nothing to do with those people. So you have to find what excites you, what brings you joy, and can hold you up in those negative spaces. So then those microaggressions don't hold so much weight.
Hey, happy Tuesday. It's a great day to be alive. So today at my job, I was a top performer. Kudos to me. Then I had a 10 o'clock meeting with my peers and my newly promoted team lead. He was supposed to be showing us how to properly process a medical claim. So I'm all ears because I'm new in this role, so I want to learn everything that I can learn. So to start the meeting off, he pulls up a claim that I worked on, where I got assistance with from one of the senior analysts. So he starts to point out some deficiencies, or what he considered deficiencies, which is approving the leave of absence claim without medical on record and sending out the wrong letter to the claimant, letting them know they were approved for the leave of absence. So I let him carry on with the meeting. Then after the meeting, while my peers are in the meeting, because since you want to try to bring me down in a meeting, instead of congratulating me for being the top performer yesterday, you want to try to bring me down today. It's not going to fly on my watch. So I politely said, "Hey, sir, I would like to address how the start of this meeting took place, and I would like to voice my concerns. Because, as you know, I'm new to this role, and I'm learning, and I would like to continue learning in a positive environment. Now, should you in the future have to question something that I am doing, you're more than welcome to do a one-on-one with me to find out why I did what I did. But since you brought it to this meeting, let me advise you that the claim that you're referencing, I received help from a senior analyst that has more years than I do in this position. And most importantly, the LOA claim, leave of absence claim, was approved because, according to policy, if it is an expedited claim, we don't need medical to justify us approving the leave of absence." And he goes, "Well, that was not my intent to make you feel away. Well, I understand you did not set out with that intentions, but how I received it is my feelings, and they're valid. Please do not do that again." So he was like, "Well, I apologize, but you're doing a great job. You're a top performer." All of that, what you're saying now, means nothing. It's falling on deaf ears because in the way in your approach that you tried to bring me down amongst my peers, I am not tolerating that at all.
A quick reminder, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and let's continue the video.
Working in predominantly white spaces, I get microaggressions all the time. Like, all the time. Literally last week. And I don't even know why it kind of like surprises me anymore. Now I have responses. At first I used to be shook. Like, did they really just say that? So last Friday I had my doctoral class, and I want to remind you that I am one out of 2 Latinas that are there. The other Latina though she's very good and analytical, but I am more the talker in class, you know? So I stand out more. Well, we had to do chapter presentations, right? And I love doing presentations. I did it. I made a handout. I did what I would want to do because I am on my own standards, right? It was good. I didn't think anything of it. Like, it was great. It was good. Move on. Not everyone else was on the same par as me, but I mean, I'm not in competition. I was just doing it for me. This girl in my class, she's white, older lady, and she's like, "I wanted to tell you something." And I was like, "No, thank you." Because I already know this girl always comes with criticism. And she's like, "Oh," like taken aback. And I was like, I mean, is it serious? I mean, sure, why not? Let me just hear what you have to say. She said, "I want to let you know I see you." What do you mean by that? Like, she's like, "I see you, and you know, you don't have to try so hard." I was like, "Try so hard?" Like, would you tell that to Greg over there? Like, what? And then I was like taken aback, you know, I was like, well, I built the presentation up to my own standards. I'm not in competition with anybody. So I did the presentation the way that I would like to do a presentation. I have my bachelor's in PR. I have my master's in counseling. So I love providing my audience with tools that they can have, provided to them. And then she's like, so I said, so if someone sees me as trying too hard, well, I am just doing me. And then she's like, oh, okay. Where do you come up with this? Like, no, you're not going to come into my space and talk to me like that. I was like, is there anything else you need to say? And then she's like, oh. And I was like, okay, well, I have other items to be doing now. I need work to do. Oh, hell no. And microaggressions, y'all. How do you handle them?
You have to train people how to treat you, especially these days. A lot of people lack respect, especially in the workplace. They have no home training whatsoever. A lot of people think that you have to earn respect. From the jump, you should be respectful of other people. Have that respect. Treat people how you want to be treated. And a lot of disrespectful people will use that as an excuse that, oh, you have to earn respect. A lot of people, you have to put them in their place real quick. From the jump, any little comment, you correct them real quick. But here's the thing. You have to do it without being emotional about it. You have to do it without being hurt. If you are hurt, they can see that and now do it on purpose just to piss you off, just to get under your skin, just to antagonize you. And so you do it professionally without emotions. You address it though. You do not let it slide, because if you let it slide, you are training them that it is okay to continue to do that. You check them hard real quick. And there are a lot of people in the workplace who get off by pissing other people off. These people are looking for constant validation, constant attention. And so they behave as if they have no home training, no respect. A lot of these people lack social skills. They don't have any. And so they don't know how to interact respectfully with another person, especially if they don't look like them, because they are not used to it. And so you have to teach them and you have to train them. And the main reason why you have to do this is because their parents failed. Their parents failed to educate them, to train them, to correct them. And so now you have to do it, unfortunately. But it must be done.
Yo, so something happened to me at the end of my shift today, and I'm annoyed as hell. I was trying to process it without reacting, and I'm not able to separate the two. So let's get into it. One of the members of leadership on the unit that I'm assigned to at this hospital, she does charting audits. So moving along, she's coming to me. I can see her in my peripheral vision. Why can't I talk? Because I'm mad. That's why. Anyway, I can see her in my peripheral vision, and she's making a beeline for me, but I hear her calling a name that's not mine. So first immediate thought is, why is this woman making a beeline for me, but she's calling me a 3-syllable first name? My name is Annette. Always has been. 7 letters, 2 syllables. Let's get it together. So she makes the beeline. She's still calling this person's name. I'm confused. She then gets into my line of vision and continues to call me this person's name as I watch her look down at my badge and still continue to call me the wrong name. I just watched you look at my badge and still continue to call me the wrong name. At this point, I'm like, okay, she's playing. She's not serious. No, she was serious. And then I guess whatever glitch had happened was resolved, because she was like, oh my gosh, Annette, you look so much like Benicia. Bitch, who the fuck is Benicia? Is it Benicia? Who is that? So Benicia walks by literally as she's making this lie up and speaking very loudly about it. And Benicia's like, what? And she's like, oh, I was wondering if you had this patient such and such. I wanted to tell you about some charting, whatever. And of course, Benicia and I make eye contact like we do. And if you know, you know, because why is she lying about mistaking us for each other? When, like I said, on any other day, you've been able to correctly identify us and address us. And we've worked together before. So now, it could be that she knew she needed to talk to Benicia because she knew that was her patient, and she was still in that train of thought while she was approaching me. But this also happens to be another large, tall, black woman on the unit. So immediately it goes in the category of, you're racist. You're racist. Because why aren't you making that mistake with anyone else? I don't ever get mistaken for someone by any other group of people except white people. And it doesn't happen often because I'm usually the tallest, biggest person, you know, as far as black women or black females go in the unit or on the unit. So you're not mistaking me for anybody. I wear my jewelry, I do my makeup, you know, and I smell good as fuck. I'm pierced, I'm tatted, you know, like there's not anyone else in critical care at any other facility that is gonna identify like me. It's just not it. And my nails are usually done. You know, like I stand out. So once she's done lying to the both of us and she tells us what she brought her silly ass over to tell us, Venetia is like, did she really just say that she mistook us for one another? I said, girl, I was wondering who the fuck. We both start laughing. She was like, man, she played too much. She knows she full of shit. She know damn well that we do not look alike. I was like, girl, first of all, I'm chocolate and you're not. Second of all, I'm dog all the way up. You're not. Third of all, I have longer tresses and darker tresses. I'm taller than you. I'm bigger than you. Bitch, where? She's also been there for 6 months. I just got there. Like, I'm annoyed because I know what the root of the bullshit is. However, it could have actually been a mistake. Like I said, I think that she was in a certain train of thought because she's chasing people down about this charting shit. But it will never not come across racist. And honestly, I think I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt. But it will never not come across racist. It'll never not. Like, why are you getting the only 2 black females on duty? We were not the only 2 black females. I stand correctly. The only 2 black nurses who are tall and shapely. Why are you getting us confused? We don't look alike. If I could show y'all a picture, like literally her complexion is like that of Beyonce. She is yellow, high yellow, okay? And no makeup, very quiet. You know, if you make me laugh, the whole unit is gonna be complaining in the morning that it sounded like a party was going on during our shift. Trust me. Like I'm a loud laugher. I can be a loud talker. I'm very friendly, like very friendly. I think I'm funny too, so I'm always talking to somebody about some shit. It makes the time go faster. And anyway, I'm saying all of that to say, when is it gonna stop? It's awkward as fuck. Now it's awkward as fuck. Now she and I have an inside joke because on the way out I was like, what's up, twin? She was like, hey, twin. So now, you know, that's our thing. You know, I don't know this woman. Literally never even spoke to her at all until this. So yeah, I'm annoyed about it because I know what the root of it is, but I just really wish it didn't happen. It just makes me uneasy because now your racism is showing.
So I just witnessed the funniest microaggression and I have to let you guys know about it. So I work at a radio station and I'm on a Zoom call and we're talking about an event that we're going to be having. The leader of the meeting is a black woman, okay? And it's me and her, the only 2 black people on this call. Everyone else is white. White male, white female. So we're talking about this event we're having, and the white woman on the call is like, oh, I don't know about this location that we're going to have the event at. I've heard bad things about it. As a single, Caucasian woman, I don't know if it's safe for me there. She turns to the black woman who leads the meeting, and she's like, we're going to call her Suzanne. She was like, Suzanne, can you let me know if it's a safe neighborhood? Like, I just want to make sure that it's going to be safe for me. Mind you, Suzanne is not even from this area. Suzanne goes, and the other funny part is that everyone in the meeting was like, yeah, like that was a normal thing to ask. Like, why did everyone turn to the black person on the call to talk about hood safety? Like she's from the hood or like she knows this area. So then Suzanne is like, I'm not from this area, so I really want to be able to let you know. And then the white woman doesn't even realize that this was like not okay. No one on the call realizes that this was not okay. And she's like, yeah, because I just, as a white woman, I just felt unsafe in some areas, and I just wanted to know. She's like, but if you don't know, that's fine. And everyone else on the phone call is like, just take an Uber, you'll be fine. But like the white men on the call didn't even register how much of a microaggression this really was. Like all heads turned to Suzanne to talk about hood safety. Like she's the queen of the hood, and she knows the bad areas, the good areas. And the other part that is funny is like, as a black woman, are we not unsafe too? Are we fine in those areas? Like, she literally was like, as a white woman, like, that means something different. That when we go into the hood, they'd be like, oh, they alright, they good, they black. Like, black women don't get attacked in the hood. It was just hilarious. I had to share with you guys.
Today I got so upset at work. I go to my manager, and it's a fast-paced environment, so when I go to him, he's like, yeah, what do you need? That doesn't bother me because, again, it's a fast-paced environment. So I like to get straight to the point. So I'm like, 108, they need a discount, right? He's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, well, there's no discount on here. Can I get the discount applied? You know how he responded? Okay, you could just ask, but you don't have to be all sassy about it. I wasn't, what are you talking about? I wasn't sassy. I asked you a question. What are you talking about? Then he continues to go, 108, it needs a discount. Put the discount on a check. Like, chill with all the sassiness. That's what he says to me. So I'm really blank staring at him like, I legit did not do that just now. I did not do all the neck snapping or whatever. Like, I was so like, I was boiling, and I just decided to not say anything. But I waited to the end of the shift, and we talked about it, and he was extremely apologetic. But it was such a trigger for me because he's not the first manager to ever say that to me. And yes, he's white. I had another white manager at my last job do that, and I'm talking to them mad regular. Like, you would have thought I was like, yo, 108 don't have a discount. Like, can you put that discount on? You would have thought I went to him like that. I didn't, bro. At my last job, the same thing happened where he called me sassy when I was talking to him regular. I was talking to him regular in my normal tone, in my normal cadence. But because I'm a black woman, because I talk with such certainty, I talk up. I'm not going to whisper. Hey, 108 needs a discount. You know what I'm saying? It's taken as sassiness. Huh? I just don't like that. And so I'm going to forever call out any white manager that calls me sassy or tries any microaggression towards me. And you should too.
If you are a person of color, please let me know how you deal with racial discrimination at work. Little comments here and there that, like, they don't realize they're doing or they're saying is wrong. And obviously, like, this doesn't always go well for us people, even though what they're saying is wrong and it's a bad thing. But when they're at a higher up position, it seems like the consequences automatically go to who? To us. What do you do? Because I'm writing a list of things that have been said to me, about me, and about my other black coworker, who they sometimes think that we are the same person, even though she's been here for a year and I've been here for 7 months, but whatever. And I don't know what to do because I'm scared. And I don't want to talk about it, but like, I really do. Like, today really took the fucking cake, and it's bad and it's annoying. But why do I feel nervous? Like, why do I feel like, you know, considering the fucking trajectory of the world right now, obviously I'm nervous, but this is something that needs to be addressed. I'm so nervous. I literally asked ChatGPT, I was like, how the fuck do I do this? How do I do this? How do I do this?
I want to talk about microaggressions at work, especially with a lot of the return to office. We might be seeing more and more of this. I'm going to share an example of something that happened to me. So I was working at a startup as an account director, and I was in a meeting with like 5 or 6 other people, and we were just going to go over some website content. You know how companies love to do these like silly infographics? So we had a lot of them on our website, and we probably had like 10 or 12 different people that were represented. And the problem is that every single one of these infographic people were white. So me, of course, I'm like, hey, I think I've mentioned this before, but you know, the infographic people, like, there's no diversity. Can we add some diversity? I feel like any minority looking at these infographics is going to be like, it's a subtle turnoff. One of the people turns to the graphic designer and is like, oh yeah, so go ahead, let's make them Asian, make some of them Asian, and all you have to do is just change the skin color to yellow, and then make the eyes, like just squeeze the eyes and make them smaller and stretch them out. So what's so exhausting about a microaggression like this is not only the stupidity that you have to witness, but then I'm sitting there like, okay, do I say something? So I pull this person aside and I'm like, hey, I just want to walk through what just happened in that meeting. And I don't know, like, what did I want? Did I want him to apologize? Did I want him to, like, become a different person? Like, and this person had the audacity to be like, oh, well, I was just giving art direction.
So recently I started this job as a medical scribe, and there's been this one doctor who is a palm-colored man, right? And ever since the beginning, he's just talked to me in a very weird and abrasive way. But yesterday was icing on the cake because he snapped his fingers at me, not once, but multiple times. So I was done filling out the chart on my end. So he was entering in his notes. And before he started using the speech-to-text software, because that's all he would use, he asked the full name of the patient. So I gave it to him and then went on minding my business, looking to see if we had any more patients. So then he started dictating the patient's chart. And I'm not paying attention. I'm looking at my iPad. And then he said the first name, and he stopped, and he snapped at me to get my attention. So I immediately look up, and I'm just staring at him, and he's staring back at me, and I'm just thinking, that did not just happen. So there were like a million thoughts going on in my head. So I was wondering, like, should I address this now, or address it later, you know? And I'm a nice person, and also I'm new there. So I was trying to spare him and save him from embarrassment because there were other people around, and not have any consequences brought onto me, because I know as a doctor he has way more power than I do, you know? So I let it go in the moment, and I just gave him the last name. And then he was like, what's the chart number? So I just gave my iPad to somebody else, because I just could not engage further, you know? So then later on, I took him to the side and I was like, hey, can I speak to you for a second? He was like, sure. And I was like, yeah, I would appreciate it if in the future you did not snap at me. He was like, snap at you? When did I snap at you? I was like, earlier when you were asking me the patient's last name. He was like, oh, I just needed to get your attention. Like, that was that kind of snap. Like, I was doing the speech to text. Like, I just needed your attention. Like, not apologetic at all. Just very dismissive, very invalidating. So I was like, okay, he's obviously not gonna take me seriously, and he obviously does not respect me, right? So then immediately after he said that, I was like, okay, and also my name, and I told him my name. Because before that, he had asked me to remind him of my name like a week ago or something. So I told him, and he was like, you don't have any nicknames? Mind you, my name is 2 syllables. 2. But I was still trying to be friendly, you know? I'm still new, you know? So I was like, some people call me this. And he was like, okay, right? So then yesterday, after he was just being very dismissive, I was like, okay, then you can just call me by my name going forward as well. He was like, I thought we agreed on a nickname. I was like, no, I would prefer you calling me by my name. So then I walk away, thinking that's it, thinking that is over, right? I walk away to go do my job. And then he follows me, and he's like, yeah, I wasn't like snapping you in a bad way, like this would be me snapping at you in a bad way. And he started doing that towards me. Mind you, I was like 4 or 5 feet away, so it wasn't directly in my face, because it wasn't directly in my face, you know? But he was still doing it, even though I just told him to not do that. I was just staring at him. I said nothing, because I'm like, this man is actually insane. Like, there's nothing I could say right now that will make him see reason. Like, and he just kept going, and he just like kept doing it, you know? So then I just turned, and I just went and continued to do my job. And thank God that was towards the end of the day. So I just left like an hour after that. And thank God I didn't have to really engage with him any further. But yeah, that just goes to show how white men, they just think that they run the world. They think they can talk to and treat people any way they want, you know? Especially people they deem unworthy of their respect. Mind you, I did nothing to this man. Nothing at all. I just started this job. And I cannot fathom ever treating somebody in the way that he treated me. And it just sucks that as a black woman, that I just have to always continuously navigate shit like this. I always have to be the better person, you know, be graceful. And I try to not let it get under my skin, because he's obviously insane. You know, like, his opinion of me does not matter. I don't give a fuck what he thinks of me. I'm just there to do my job. But still, it sucks that we still have to deal with this. I was thinking maybe I'll report him to HR, but I highly doubt they will do anything. I'm sure that they would choose his side over mine, because he is a doctor. He has more power than I do, you know? And he's a white man, I'm a black woman. Let's be real. So going forward, I'm going to keep standing up for myself. And I'm going to stop sparing people from embarrassment, because they tried to embarrass me, So there's no point in sparing them. There really is none. And they have to know that I will confront them, and I will always stand up for myself. So that in the future, they will think before they speak to me, But yeah, unfortunately, that is how the world is for us Black women, and just women of color, But Black women, we really get it hard. We really do. And this is not even the worst thing that has happened to me. This is just the most recent thing. And it sucks that it's something that we have to do in order to gain just a little bit of respect from people. Like, they just don't see us as human at all. And it's really sick. It's really sick. But yeah, I appreciate you for listening. Thank you.
Hey y'all, it's me. I'm coming on here to talk about the microaggressions that I am facing at work. So let's document all the times I was being discriminated as a female at my job. Please hold. Okay, so backstory. I used to be the only female on my team back in February of 2024 is when I came on the job. I have gotten told that every other female that has worked this job has had an issue with leadership. So, therefore, I took that into consideration as well. Boom. As I'm starting my job, I used to always get attitude from my supervisor and never knew why. And y'all, when I say attitude, I mean like man will huff and puff before I even open my mouth. So, August 19th of 2024 comes around. My sister passed away. Tragic car accident, and I find out while I'm at work. Terrible. I found out while I'm at work and I have a panic attack. Boom. In the midst of me having a panic attack, I tried to notify my leadership and he was not there. Why? Because he was late that day. I called, he didn't answer. I tried going to his office, he wasn't there. And in the midst of me leaving out, I didn't even abruptly leave. My first instance was I knew I needed to get home and my coworkers were there. So I let a coworker know and he said he would let my supervisor know. Boom. So boom, long story short, I get the call within 48 hours because I was expecting him to call me that day, not 2 days later. So boom, I'm all the way up in Ohio already for my sister's service. The service wasn't until the whole next week. I'm already in Ohio. So I'm letting him know like, well, I'm going to be up here until then to be continued. We talk about the time frame that I'm going to get back, how many hours I have left, how many hours aren't covered. It was like 9 hours that wasn't covered. So I had to take unpaid for 9 hours, which was completely fine with me. So boom. Yeah. Hold on. The whole time that I'm up there, y'all. Okay. So you know how when you're grieving, you're supposed to have time to grieve from your job. They called me back to back while I was up there to talk about the same thing we had already spoke about the first time. And then not only every time they called, they didn't have nothing decent to say. Everything they said was just straight up, when are you getting back to work? When are you getting back to work? There was literally a time on the phone where supervisor, that's my supervisor. I'm on the phone with him while I'm in the store looking for my sister something to wear in her casket. And you're somewhere telling me, well, sounds like you're doing all right. When do you plan on getting back here? That was his exact words. And we had already spoke about when I planned on getting back. So the time comes around when I get back to work. Lord behold, I'm hearing from people in the workplace, my colleagues, my team, that they done spoke about being AWOL and fucking absences and tardies. Mind y'all, I've never been late to work. Every time I have been absent, I have called out properly. I have called, right? But apparently that's an issue. And AWOL, how was I AWOL if I fucking came to work? That don't even fucking make sense to me. Make the sense make it, because it's not. Like, hold on. Sorry, y'all, I started to get flustered. Moral of the story, they put me on a 6-month probation after that. Yeah, for going to my sister's funeral, and they blamed it on lack of communication because I didn't attempt to reach out multiple times when the situation happened. Mind you, he got told by my colleague verbatim, even on the cameras, I came into work, I got the call, I was having a panic attack, yada, yada, yada. And it still took you 24 to 48 hours to reach out to me, but yet and still I'm the one in trouble. Okay. Got it. So at this point, I'm on 6 months probation. I gotta check in and communicate with him twice out of the week for 6 months straight. Mind y'all, I work a job where I don't even there's no reason for me to communicate with my supervisor if it's not work or job related. Literally, like it's a job where I'm not micromanaged. But yet and still, for 6 months, I have to check in with you every single week for 6 months, twice a week. I have nothing to say in a time frame of 6 months, like, to you. Especially after the way y'all have treated me when I was supposed to be grieving. Y'all didn't even give me that space to grieve. Y'all did not even give me a chance to process everything that was going on. Like, this is my sister. Same mom, same household, same everything. Like, this ain't nobody like a cousin, a friend. This is somebody close to me. Damn near my second mom. When mom was gone, she had to watch me. I was with her. So it's like, y'all aren't giving me time to process even when I'm supposed to be gone grieving. Y'all are still hassling me with work shit when we had already spoke about what the fuck was going on in between. So boom, fast forward again, the time span of 6 months. Between the time span of 6 months, every time I have met with my supervisor for the twice a week thing, he literally has nothing nice to say to me, y'all. He's so mean, he's so rude, he's so nasty. Every time something comes out of his mouth, it's rude. It's not demure. It's fucking indecent, literally. So one time I came in his office, he literally looked at me and was like, why is it every time you come in my office you always look so lifeless? What the fuck? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why you always got an attitude? Like, seriously. Aside of that, there was another time I called out because my son was sick. This man goes to say to me, so you about to just be at home not working? Mind y'all, I'm using my sick time to call out. Is that not what you do on sick leave? And then he tells me again on the phone like, well, it's not you. I can't make this up, y'all. So boom, fast forward. Tuesday of last week come around. Today is the 17th, March 17th. I'm supposed to be getting off of probation. We enter, I'm 3 minutes late. Why am I 3 minutes late? Because when I peeked my head back there, when I came into the facility, they were not there. So I went to the computer lab to sit. It was a meeting going on in the computer lab, but that supervisor said that I could sit in on the meeting until my meeting started. I get to my meetings, but before I even get there, I look up, it's 1:03. The meeting was at 1 o'clock. He calls me and he's like, where are you? I'm like, I'm in the computer lab, my bad. I just seen the time, like, here I come. It's right across the hall, y'all. I get into the meeting, he's talking to me about being tardy, being late, all of the such sort. And I'm like, okay, I'm never tardy, I'm never late to work, I'm never even tardy to meetings. This will be my first time being 3 minutes tardy. Like, are you kidding me? So then he goes to say, like, do you know why we're all here? I'm assuming and hoping it's for me to get off of probation. So that's what I state. He huffs, he puffs per usual, and he says that. And then he goes into this whole thing about being late. If anybody's late to work, it's you. You come in sometimes 7:15, 7:20, like, and I see it firsthand. Why? Because I get to the facility at 6:45. We're supposed to be there at 7 o'clock. You make it make sense. And then every time that you feel like you're checking in on me to make sure I'm at work, I'm always there. Okay, let's start there. So then I state back and say, but I'm never late to work. He didn't have nothing to say because it's true. I'm never late to work, period. Long story short, I'm not gonna go through the whole meeting. Meeting goes left because of his smart aleck ways. Again, he goes to say, and then another issue is you're always so defensive about your son. When it's time to call out, it's like policy just goes out the window for you. Policy never goes out of the window for me. I follow the procedures and the process necessary to call out. You say I need to call, I email, text, and call because I need paper trail letting you know that this was the process that I took to call out and make sure I'm not about to get rolled up behind it, because obviously you just handing out write-ups out the ass. So throughout the little probation meeting to get off probation, he's asking me questions like, do you have anything you would like to say? Do you have anything you want to tell us? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, and no. He still has a funky ass attitude throughout the whole meeting. For what reason? I really don't know. So I'm signing where he's telling me to sign. I'm doing what he's supposed to be doing. Boom. 2 days later, Thursday comes around. I'm getting a random ass write-up early in the AM. It's 6:56 AM and he's coming in the computer lab telling me to stay here because I'm getting a write-up, basically. Please stay tuned to listen to the rest because it gets juicy, y'all. I'm about to do a part 2. But just note that he always has an attitude with me. Note that. I used to be the only female on the team. Note that. Keep that in mind.
I appreciate you guys watching the video today. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.